Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, the Vice Chair of the Commission, the Public Service Commission, Madam Charity, the Public Service Commissioners, all invited guests, good morning. Now, I have a confession to make. And I hope you will not judge me after I share this confession. When I was a little girl growing up in the village in the county of Bungoma, I constantly came across images of what to me I thought was leadership. Let me talk about power. The image of power expressed through riches or supposed riches and freedom for one or for people to do whatever they want to do or be whatever they want to become. The other was glamour. The glamour, the charisma, the clout that came with power and what it meant to be in a position of power. Now, I'd like for you to just take a moment and picture that. Power, glamour, security, red carpet, cameras, and all these things. That's a beautiful picture. And I thought that that was leadership. And having come from a background where my family and I struggled to access basic needs within our home, I definitely grew up with that picture, and I said, you know what? One day, I want to be a leader. You can see the motivation. And I thought to myself that, yeah, so once I become a leader, get into leadership, then I will have access to power, and I'll have access to the money that comes with apparently being in power, or the power that then gives you access to money. And that was the image I was pursuing. Little did I know that this was the greatest fallacy of all time. Money does not equal leadership, and it's not true power, even though in many of our minds, it is. And power is not the things we see and sort of can touch. True power is the ability to influence and transform people's lives for the better. True power does not boast or shout. It's that silent strength that's within that becomes a force for good. It's sad that many people, many human beings have, through this allure of power, wealth, money, and all that, have actually found themselves in roles of leadership or positions of leadership. And then you get there and you realize there's an emptiness. That all this money and supposed power and security, it's really nothing. There's an emptiness that is unquenchable. And some of us begin to amass wealth, amass land and money, and yet, when we die, how much of that do we need? Maybe just 6 by 7, and we go down. greed steps in, and within no time we really lose the purpose, and we don't care about the people that we lead, the people that look up to us. And sometimes we look at this as the destination, that taking up a leadership role or being in leadership is actually the final destination, but it's not. I have actually come to the realization that the worst kind of poverty is not that situation where people are not able to put food on the table or to meet their needs. The worst kind of poverty is that where the only thing we have is money. Nothing more, nothing less. Just money. No character, no integrity, no honor, no vision. Just money. Just money. Just imagine that. And don't get me wrong, money is not bad. Money is a good thing. It complements who we are and what we do. But surely our lives must matter more than just money. It's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. But we should not let money and power and all these things be what define us. But like many of the fellows have talked about, it's how we serve. It's how we love. And again, just, after all that moment of the last breath, whether we get buried or cremated, do we ever carry all the money and the land and all these things? No, we don't. In that moment when we're breathing our last, none of that counts. It is how many lives did we touch? How many young people did we mentor? How many young women and men and children and even older people did we encourage or inspire, or did we look into their face and see them for who they are? It's those small things that sometimes we actually ignore and chase after this thing called money, power, and these things. Again, I'd like for you to just take a moment and picture that. One of the things I've come to learn, and again, this came up in the documentary that played earlier on, is that dreams come true. Dreams come to pass. There's power in dreams. And guess what? That childhood dream I had of being in leadership came to pass. I was in leadership. But friends, this was a disaster. It was tragic. The one thing I desired so much, I finally got it. And I spent many years of my life running away from it. Anything responsibility, anything leadership, I took off. But the faster I ran and the more I ran, the more leadership and responsibility ran after me. But I kept running, it kept running. The more I ran, the more leadership responsibilities were thrust upon me. The more I was put on the stage and all that. I can tell you it was draining. It was hectic. You can imagine emotionally, you're running away from something, but it's running after you and of course catching up with you, even outrunning you. Till the day I made peace with the fact that, yes, I'm choosing to embrace the responsibility and the sacrifices that come with leadership. And I have seen and learned that, leadership is not politics, even though it can get practiced in the political space. I have also come to the conclusion that the most difficult assignments we can ever have in life is to lead. I don't know what you find to be the most difficult thing you get to do maybe every day. For me, I have seen and I have talked to many leaders, young and old, men and women, Leading and leadership is a daunting task. It's a daunting task. It's about sacrifice. It's about service. It's about love. And I see leadership in some of the most interesting places, and I know we see that. For instance, that Mama Mboga selling groceries to be able to meet the needs of her family or his family in the right way. That is leadership. Or a teacher who faithfully chooses to teach the children that come into their space. They teach them honesty and responsible citizenship. That is leadership right there. Or a doctor who chooses to practice his or her trade in the right way. That is leadership. A student who chooses not to cheat in the exam. That is leadership. That is leadership. Leadership is not in the glamour and the power, and it's not necessarily there. It's in the small things, in our common rooms and spaces that we find ourselves in. True leadership is about inspiring limitless possibilities in humanity and enabling people to see themselves as agents of the change they want to see. And that's not easy, but it's worth it. Chinua Achebe, who was a Nigerian novelist and poet, in one of his essays on Africa and leadership, rightly observed that leadership is sacred trust, like priesthood in civilized and human religions. And he says that no one gets into it lightly or unadvisedly because it demands qualities of the mind, discipline of the body, and a will beyond the need of the ordinary citizen. He goes on to say that anybody who offers himself or herself or is offered to society for leadership must be aware of the unusually high demands that comes with leadership. And if in any doubt whatsoever, they should firmly refuse the prompting. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said that the mind, once stretched by a new idea, can never go back to its original form. Cohort 1, fellows, I am so proud of you as you graduate today from this fellowship program. And I'm very certain, I'm very sure that your mind has been stretched. I've interacted with all of you, and I can see the transformation, and I can only say I'm so proud of you. And as the partners in this program, we will continue to work with you and walk with you even beyond your graduation today. And may you continue to, thank you. May you continue to live out the ideals of a good citizen and a good public servant who is citizen-centric. Cohort 2, as you embark on this leadership journey, just like Chinua rightly observed, if you have any doubt whatsoever about this process you're embarking on and about the immeasurable transformation that you're going to experience, please do not continue with the journey. You're free to step out of the program. But I can assure you that this program, this journey you're on, will be worth it. It will be worth every day, every second, every minute, every sweat that you go through to attend the program and interact with the fellow leaders. It will be worth it. I know your mentors are here, your supervisors are here, we've been working together, and I have no doubt that with their guidance and leadership and hand-holding for you, you will go very far. And like Commissioner Muyandi rightly said, in the next 10 years, or maybe even just 5 years, you will be the who is who leading change, leading policy processes, and ensuring equity and inclusivity in policy and decision-making processes, and ensuring we have many more young people and their voices being heard, and they can be seen, and you're amplifying those voices, and children, and women, and men as well. I look forward to that time. And now, my friends, I'd like to leave you with the paraphrase words of one of my favorite poets, Sir Francis Drake. The poem is called Disturb Us, Lord. Disturb us, Lord, when we are too well pleased with ourselves, when our dreams have come true because we have dreamed too little, when we arrived safely because we sailed too close to the shore. Disturb us, Lord, when with the abundance of the things we possess, we have lost our thirst for the things of life. Having fallen in love with money and power, we have ceased to dream of a more equal and dignified society where all women, men, young people, and children can feel free and secure enough to pursue their dreams and make the best of themselves and their communities and their families. Disturb us, Lord, to dare more boldly to venture on wider seas where storms show your mastery, where losing sight of the land, we shall find the stars. We ask you, Lord, to push back the horizons of our hopes and to push into the future in strength, courage, hope, and love. Disturb us, Lord, is the title of the poem. And that is the prayer I make for each and every one of us, those who are in leadership, those who want to shift their mindset to realize that leadership is not about the glamour and the power and the money, that it's about service, it's about heart, not just mind. That's my special dedication to you. And I have a special dedication to a special category of people. We all know young people are the majority in our population, and you young people are our present, you are our future. And I get so inspired when I encounter young people, whether in person or through social media, sharing with me some of the things they are doing in their communities to change their stories, to change the narrative about young people and to change our country. They're choosing not to sit back. And we've also seen the many stories from our fellows so far. Ladies and gentlemen, please just help me appreciate young Kenyans. But unfortunately, of course, we have a few young people who are sitting back and waiting for things to happen, waiting for government to do this, waiting for civil society to do this, or for media to do this, or for mom and dad to do something for me. You know what? If you're waiting, please stop waiting. Stop waiting. Rise up and realize that you're your own rescue. Be your own rescue. Be your own champion. Be the change you want to see. Be the person you've been waiting for, because you are that. And I hope the rest of us can actually begin or continue to meaningfully engage young women and men that we get to encounter in our lives. And so I leave you young leaders with the words of Frantz Fanon, who said that every generation must, out of total obscurity, discover its mission and either fulfill it or betray it. And so I ask you one question as I exit the stage. Will you fulfill or will you betray the mission and the call on your generation? Thank you so much, and God bless you.